on this, and I don't give a fuck. Anyway, yeah. So let me just start the fuck over. I might as well, because that was sloppy, and I kind of want to have a do-over. Which is too bad, because at some point I had 10 people looking at the fucking stream, and I'm sure it was all sorts of garbage. It must be all the fucking traffic. I'm not used to driving right now, but I restarted the phone. Maybe it was the phone. Anyway, so I can't fucking handle the this fucking war situation we got going on. The war between, these Americans. I mean, I'm an American, but I mean, like these Americans who are fucking polarized. Some of the things going on is fascist. Some of it is not. And it's happening way too much with no fucking progress. And as far as I am concerned, it is a shit position if you're gonna be the guys in charge of government and you just don't feel like fucking, like, looking at this and saying, we gotta look, we did it, stopped the fucking bleeding, we're healing all sorts of fucking wounds, we've gone after a tremendous amount of criminals. And then, of course, there is the general law about deportation. And in the general law about deportation, you are dealing with the tremendous problem of the conflict with the matter of the sanctuary city. And perhaps the sanctuary city is an abuse of various 10th Amendment rights and such. Perhaps it is these things. But there's the human fucking factor that is lost, by everybody out there, right? It's just like, I didn't vote. That's my first thing. I didn't vote. So I don't have to fucking deal with it. I didn't really fucking give him, like, the endorsement to suggest that others should vote. I looked and I said, I want to see certain things happen. Now, all I care about is what the fuck is happening. And I'm not angry because deportations are happening and America has nationalist policies. I am angry because we are pretending that half of the American people who want to keep these people here don't fucking matter. And that the Republicans will throw the Democrat leadership under the bus without saying a goddamn thing along the lines of, it's just like, if you would like to do something to fucking talk about who is here in a certain way that addresses X, Y, and Z of our concerns. As long as you're addressing X, Y, and Z of our concerns, then let's fucking make a deal where I'm not deporting people. Right? I mean, how long does the other side go without having such abject hatred for their own leaders' ineptitude in stopping things, other than to be, standing up for the encouragement of, violence or whatever, or just non-violent resistance. Just like, the Democrats, they don't want to change the more important fucking policies to them on the exploitative globalism, right? And I don't have a fucking problem with, the world of all sorts of people here, at least in America. Maybe Europe needs to be absolutely different. Hi, Ethan. I am talking about America's deportation policies and how much I am theoretically for them, but in current application abhorrently against it. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about something in a way I don't even know if anybody would want to fucking consider the way I'm talking about this situation even fucking appropriate. Am I fucking compassionating fucking immigrants enough? Aliens, invaders, even peaceful invaders or something. Just like, because remember, what the Dems want is for all of these guys to basically be always from their country of origin, meaning they're always going to be the citizen from the fucking country they came from. That's thing number one, right? Because if somebody wants to start talking about let's fucking remove their citizenship from that country, make them citizens of this country, that's an extreme I've heard some people make. I think it's mostly I think it's like a rejected right-wing proposal. I think I've heard that from, right? And I've even proposed it independently myself. Why are you being rude to him? It's just a question. Why are you being rude to me? This is my channel. I talk to people the way I want, and you can leave if you feel insulted. I will not feel insulted if you feel insulted. And Liv, if you don't know what the fuck being, kind and respectful and everything else is, then you can get the fuck out of here! Fuck off! Fuck you forever. Goodbye. Shit, man. Piss me the fuck off. What fucking cunt comes in here and says that shit? I straight up gave him the fucking answer to his question. Straight. That was a straight answer to a fucking question. Don't paint me as a fucking bad guy in here. What kind of cunt roast are you on? Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here, bitch. Who the fuck you think you are? You act like I was driving Ethan out, just talking about how, hey... Oh, what are we talking about? I'm talking about how I'm in a love-hate relationship with what's going on in this fucking country, and I think a lot of things going on are evil, and but there's unfortunately good mixed in there, so I can't be fucking fully committed in that level of emotional sense, because I know what I really want, right? And my voice was never clear because, this is dragged on now since his administration started, and it was great in the beginning because we had to clear out fucking criminal gangs and a whole lot of other shit, as well as salvage a whole bunch of fucking jobs for Americans from what was being strained out for that. I've seen better work in the last year, partially from my own efforts. I mean, really all from my own efforts, but at the end of the day, I am fully aware that the government can get in the way of businesses that care to hire. Oh, dumb fucking people. Anyway, seriously. If Ethan is still here, hi Ethan, how you doing? I'm pretty sure you're a guy, Ethan. I'm assuming your gender, and that I'm pretty sure that if I talk to a guy that way, it makes sense. What the hell? Stupid. Fucking stupid. Live. Who the fuck sent you? live. You're vile. You're not live, you're vile. So, at any rate, yeah, no, straight up, I want to put a full suspension on everything that isn't like an ICE case job. Like, if it's a fucking nothing but absolute all out working on a case, because there's quite a big difference. Like the way things were prior to Trump for now. Because maybe deportations didn't happen under Biden properly. I suppose they didn't. But, you know, they did happen under Obama. Right? I'd say we go back to like a Trump 45, you know, like, which is slightly more amped up than Obama in deportations. That's you know, and while that is happening, the negotiations, right? The whole 9 yards. Look, I can appreciate forcing the other party to admit that they lied to their own people. But people have to, unfortunately, the people just have to fucking realize that. They're not going to realize that. But then again, people aren't going to realize that vote Republican, how the Republicans are lying to them either. And the magic of anything that isn't anything more than a cultural thing whose time has come, such as legal weed. You know, stuff where the American people have already moved into a certain agreement that they're never interested in walking away from. Right? And we may be dealing with a particular agreement that people are like, I can't see how they wouldn't. Look, there's a human factor here. I am not going to endorse you going to war with the idea of our relationship with international visitors and international whomevers. All right? So, this is not going to work. It's not going to work, right? And if people knew what was best for them, they'd fucking turn pivot now and see if they can fucking finagle your memory over the next 3 years to earn some trust back to win some elections. Because that's even, like, who even cares? It doesn't even fucking matter. Why do I fucking care? This is really hard. This is really fucking hard to talk about this shit in a real way, because then your mind wanders into bullshit statements like, oh, don't you care about an election, you fucking elitists? No, they don't. They don't at all. It's all fucking taken care of. Because this is how limited the mind is and how limited the money of the mind is. It's sad and pathetic and angering in all accounts. And I have nothing but vile disdain for these fucking people. And the extremes of the sycophants. I don't believe that you actually care about anybody other than your own. And aren't we naturally going to see that with mass immigration, right? I am happy that the border is fucking controlled. I am horrified that our process of deportation requires camps. We have concentration camps in this country. Because this guy wants to fucking swallow his head on immigration policy. He's trying to wrap everything around it, and he's trying to get all this shit done. He wants to make sure it looks like a big difference, you know, or whatever. And I'm sorry, man. You accepted the stolen election of 2020, Mr. President. You accepted that. You really did. You ultimately did. You say you didn't because you theoretically protested it every step of the way, but you deliberately botched your own legal defense in the fight in 2021 to show fucking people the fraud before January. All right, I watched you deliberately botch that with the fucking team you hired. And so yeah, I get it. You want to undo President Autopen. And you want to undo what I consider to be his treasonous actions of just opening the border to every Tom, Dick, and Harry, no questions asked. Without even noticing them. And just letting them get into the fucking lives of the country. And look, man, it's fucking frustrating, you know, being surrounded by a world of people you're trying to work with and you don't fucking speak the language, and your life is, you know, nobody's lives is designed for bilinguality, right? And, you know, it's just a frustration amongst good dudes that probably should be here. Even if they shouldn't be here, they probably just should be here. Because unless they should be in jail for a real transgression, then it would be fine. We have to change the way we do things to keep up with what the way the world is. Because I don't see us fixing the problems in Central and South America. Although I have heard that some problems are getting fixed in Central and South America. I don't know if this means that people are being deported to a place that's going to be good for them. Right? We, you know, like, that's the other side of it too. There's nothing about the people being deported that aren't going into a prison for being in Tren de Aragua. And you'll notice they only say 2 or 3 cartel gang names. MS-13, Tren de Aragua, and some third name for good measure. And they just say them over and over and over again. I don't believe that Mexico is that well organized unless the state is doing it themselves, and nobody's making that claim. It's just an out-of-control crime situation in their country without some sort of fucking claim saying that it's a conspiracy of their country to set up these gangs. Other than just understanding the fucked up state of South and Central. I mean, do liberals appreciate the horrendous difference and why it's a great idea? Like, I just don't understand what is wrong with doing something that works so you can check in at the front fucking door. I mean, you know, during Biden, he didn't even do that. He just fucking didn't enforce the law and just let them come in. None of them want to change the law. Democrats are not like, let's change immigration law. So anyway, I you know, just maybe I will find a more appropriate ability to rant in a more definitive way instead of bitching about how the left is failing in one way that might be all right if it weren't fucked up, and then vice versa on the other side. Out of this false duality, which is all they fucking give us. That and cunts like Liv who don't appreciate it when I answer questions in the chat. She didn't, like, I'm pretty sure people appreciate when they ask a question in the chat room that they get a cool direct answer. And I think that she has no idea how I fucking think. And she wants to fucking assume that it's like, I don't know where she fucking walked in from. I don't know if she's a lost subscriber. I don't know if the algorithm was just interested in me tonight. But I am very interested in getting in the fucking house with the little time I have left before I gotta fucking go to bed. I'll catch you guys later. Oh, let me see what Lucy says before I go. Because I know some shit. Okay, doesn't matter. It's not what people I despise are there now on this video. Psychedelic journey, like love natural stuff. All right, selection in my opinion. On stage, made by design. All right, for good measure indeed. Free for all and authentic honestness. Yes. All right. Thank you, Lucy. All right, my friends. I will catch you later. You know, it's just like, if Ethan was insulted, Ethan can speak for him fucking self. It's just a chat room. It's very fucking simple. Who needs you, right? Bye.